All right, what's good is Out on a Limb, hosted by me, Adam McClushko. Today I got Braiden Turner here, huge Kansas City guy, and I brought Justin along. You've seen him in previous episodes. He's a huge Kansas City guy as well, so I thought it was a good mix. Braiden, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on.
So before I start any questions, like I always do, what's your song of the day? What are you vibing to?
I don't know if I have a song, but like artists, I've been listening to Dom Kennedy a lot. It's just kind of some shit I can vibe to, like especially in the summer. He's just got a bunch of chill music and stuff, so I listen to a lot of him.
Justin, what about you?
For me, I'm going with the hometown pretty solid rock band Title Fight. I am going to go with Crescent Shaped Depression. I'm sure nobody knows what the hell that is.
I've never heard of that song.
But Kingston, Pennsylvania represent Title Fight.
All right. So mine is I've been vibing to Kanye West recently, so I'm gonna put Homecoming. If you guys ever heard of that song, I don't know if you have. All right, so Braiden, how is quarantine going for you? I mean, it's kind of weird right now, but like from the beginning, how has it been going? Has your life changed at all?
Yeah, for sure. I actually said this on our pod the other night, just figuring out a lot of different things about myself and like things that I can do to stay busy, just because my whole life, all I've done every day is watch sports and think about sports. And when that stuff's not going on, I've just been doing other stuff that interests me. I've gotten into like sports cards and stocks and things like that. So I don't know, it's just been different for me because that's all I've done my whole life is just watch sports. So yeah, I guess just finding new things that I like.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. It's kind of thrown a weird vibe around. I mean, this summertime is always, baseball. So like that's always what I'm looking at watching. But yeah, I'm going to mention this now. The reason why I asked you on is because I'll have to put the tweet up. But you're like someone had me on their podcast. Justin hooked it up, and but you have this, you have a big podcast out in KC, and I was just kind of curious, like. It's called Aint No Seats, correct?
Yeah.
So like, when did you like officially start that, or even get the idea about it?
So we started January of 2019. So we've been going for about a year and a half, and just me and this kid. We weren't even really friends, but we just follow each other on Twitter, interact with each other on Twitter, and we obviously both loved KU, and we would always talk about starting a pod, but we would never do it. Like the 2018 season we wanted to start, and we made the Final Four, so that would have been a good year to start. But ended up starting January 2019, and then my other buddy that I've actually known since I was a kid came on, and he was our producer. He's our producer still, but he wasn't talking much at first, but now he talks, and like us three, we just because it was just gonna be me and Ryan, but he was gonna produce. But us three, we have like really good chemistry together, and we just love KU, so it kind of works out perfectly.
Yeah, I was listening to some of your episodes just because I wanted to, get a feeling of all of it, how you guys talk. And like, so I'm kind of learning off my podcast because like usually I'm just interviewing people, but like I want to eventually get to that point where it's just a nice conversation. You just, have fun and just talk the whole time.
Yeah, it's easy to sit there and talk to someone and have a convo.
Exactly. It's super fun. So when did you start seeing a rise to your podcast?
So a couple months in, we actually got Tyshawn Taylor on, former point guard for KU. He played in the league.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So
remember I used to use him all the time in NCAA 10 with Blake Griffin on the cover.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Yeah. But yeah, we got him. It was random. We just tweeted him on Twitter, and he said, "I'm down." And then we Skyped him, and the episode was really good, probably our best episode yet, but the interview at least. And then we actually ended up getting him. He came to our studio one night in KC and came on. So he's really helped us too, because he's helped us get in contact with some other guys. So he's been huge for us, and it's crazy like having his support just because that's like someone we watched growing up.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually really cool. I just hit up Matisse Thybulle from the Sixers because he started that YouTube vlog series, and I was like, dude, you're younger than me. Like, it's really cool perspective, but unfortunately, he didn't answer yet. So I'm trying to get that.
I think Thybulle could be really good.
Oh, I think he could be a beast. I'm hoping. I mean, I'm an all Philly guy, so I'm sorry that I'm not a KC guy like you two. But
Well, I like the Sixers because of Joel. So
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, he's a stud. But yeah, you obviously don't know Justin and I, but whenever Kansas City and the Eagles play, we talk so much smack.
Which is
the whole
not
time.
very often. And I'm pretty sure if you look at the past couple games, the Chiefs have owned them.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of embarrassing, actually.
I think the last time they beat them was like 2009 or 2008, because that was the first football game I ever went to, and the Chiefs got smoked.
and maybe that'll be a Super Bowl matchup this year. Who knows?
I pray that is not. I don't want that.
That'd
I
be
don't
a
need that.
2 weeks for you two.
Yeah, it would be terrible. We would be at each other's throats. That's all it would be like. But so with your podcast, how did you even come up with the name Aint No Seats? Because I mean, that's pretty interesting to me.
So you'd have to listen to the episode we did with Sharon Collins when we interviewed him. If you listen to that, he tells the full story. I kind of forget how it goes, but he's the one that came up with it. It was he was in class. Like he was in class and the professor told him to sit in the front row or something on test day, but he would like sit in the back so he could cheat on the test. So the only seats that were open were in the front because he showed up late and the professor told him to sit there. And he said, he like yelled, "Ain't no seats," because he didn't want to sit there. And then like, I don't know how so many people heard about it, but it kind of became a thing at Allen Fieldhouse too, where they hold up these letters that say it. I'd have to send you guys a picture, but yeah, it's just kind of a KU thing, but Sharon started it and we kind of asked him if we could do it and he didn't care. He was all about it. So
That's so cool. You're carrying almost a little legacy going on, a little tradition.
Exactly.
So you're from Kansas City, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the barbecue. I mean, that's pretty famous, but like, what's your favorite thing about Kansas City?
Favorite thing besides barbecue or?
Yeah, anything that you could think of on top of your head.
I mean, Kansas City's a super underrated city to me, but I think the people are amazing. I think the people are nice.
The people are fantastic. I've only been there twice, and each time I've been there, it's so easy to just go out and talk to people and like actually have conversations with people. Everybody's so nice.
Yeah, I agree. I know it's weird. Like I feel like people in the Midwest are just different.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Like I feel like some people out east, I don't know where, but you know how some people are out there, like
New York,
or like the way they drive, or I don't know. I can't describe.
Well, dude, I told you when I was at that bar in the Power and Light District in when I was out there for the parade, that kid that I was talking to at the bar literally sent me a poster. We were just hanging out all night, and he was a local artist and sent me a poster.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So like I hate when like fans are dicks at Arrowhead and stuff, just because fans will get there at 6 a.m. tailgate and then start yelling shit and getting in fights. But I don't know. Obviously, I think our fan bases are as passionate as anywhere in the world. Like when the Royals were going on their playoff runs, I thought Kauffman was as loud as anywhere. And then, I mean, Arrowhead, everyone knows about Arrowhead. So
yeah, I always heard the Midwest is awesome. And I think, I don't know, I actually wouldn't mind to visit Kansas City. I mean, Justin, like when you went to the parade, I remember you telling me all about it. Braiden, you went to the parade as well?
I actually didn't. I woke up that morning feeling sick. I was pissed.
Oh man.
And it was
I don't think I slept. Like we like, my dad's birthday was that Monday. So we woke up Sunday, hung out, went out to eat, and then our flight left at like 5 a.m. So I didn't sleep that night. Then we got there and stayed up all night and then woke up. I think we woke up at 5:30 to get there we got to Union Station at 7 and we stood in the same spot until like 3 o'clock.
I know. It almost doesn't seem worth it, but I mean, they hadn't won one in 50 years.
When I went to the Eagles parade, Justin came with me and he's repping all his Kansas City stuff like he always does. So
I was wearing an Eric Berry jersey.
There you go.
We were in the same spot for the longest time, and then we moved, got really close, and then my dumbass decided to go switch our spot, and we like got pushed farther in the back. It was a terrible idea, but like so cold. I don't even know. I don't think I'll ever do it again, but it was definitely an experience.
Yeah, like when they win that first one, I feel like you got to go. Especially Chiefs
I
haven't
agree.
won in 50 years. Like, so
See,
yeah,
that's how I look at it too. Like they're gonna win next year too if there's a season, but I don't need to go to the one next year because the last one is the one that really mattered.
yeah, I feel that for sure.
Brady, I think you should have sucked up the sickness and just went.
I know. I regret it for sure, but I woke up feeling sick, and then it was like 20 degrees out probably. So I was
Yeah,
like,
it was cold.
So
and my friend that was with me was like even sicker than me. It was weird. Like I probably had the virus at that time or something. But
Yo,
no
honestly,
way.
there were so many people around that time that were sick that probably had it before anybody even knew.
yeah, and
Oh my gosh.
so I was like, I definitely don't want to go by myself. So I was like, let's just not go.
That
But,
that's even. Oh, I can't. I'm not even thinking about that. That's the coronavirus at that point. That's crazy to me.
yeah, what if the NFL playoffs got canceled or something?
Oh
This
yeah,
year
no
would
no
suck.
Super Bowl for you guys.
Yeah.
So with Kansas basketball team, when you like were some players like repping your shirt at one point?
Yeah, we've gotten them to Devon Dotson. We got that picture with Sharon wearing it. Christian Brown plays there now. And then we got shirts to like Tyshawn, Travis Relaford, and like we're just we obviously want to get them out to as many people as we can just for exposure and things like
Yeah.
that.
So like how does that process go? Like do you like because they were probably wearing it possibly before games, possibly, who knows? But like how does how does that process go? You just like kind of reach out to them like, hey, here's a shirt.
Yeah, we've done that for sure. And then like I said with Tyshawn, he's kind of gotten me contacted with a lot of those guys. Like I have Brady and Travis and Sharon's numbers and stuff like that. And then I kind of got close with Devon Dotson's brother throughout the 2 years he was here. So I can kind of reach out to them whenever. And I just end up sending them 2 shirts so Devon and his brother can have one.
That's pretty cool. So when did you like start noticing a like increase in your following? Like you're like, oh, this is like getting kind of big now.
So I don't know if you guys have seen the Bill Self impersonation thing I do.
I saw it, yeah.
On my Twitter. So it was probably January or February of 2018, the year KU went to the Final Four, and KU kind of went on a bad stretch there. Bill was getting pissed at the team, so I started doing those impersonations and put them out and kind of got some love on it. And then the day goes by, and I don't know if you know who Carrington Harrison is. He works for 610 in Kansas City.
I know who that is.
He ended up DMing me, and he asked me to come on his show, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so I drove up to the studio that day and ended up doing it on the radio, and he kept shouting me out on air and on Twitter just to follow me and stuff. And like that probably got me 2,000 or 3,000 followers right there. So because I think I had like 2,000 at that point, like 2 years ago. So he helped.
Well, the
me
following is big. That's awesome for you.
Yeah, being connected with him is really huge. So
do you still talk to him?
Yeah, get him out. He helps us get some guests on every once in a while, and then he's came on Aint No Seats 3 times or so and talk about Mizzou KU stuff and things like that, because KU renewed the rivalry with Mizzou in basketball. So right when we found that out, we texted him, and he drove straight to the studio. He's just always down to help out or go on people's pods.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So when Justin, it was around December, Justin and I went to, it was December. Justin and I went to Philly for Villanova, Kansas basketball game. I don't know if you remember that one. Villanova won. So I guess for the rest of the season, I mean, obviously the season was canceled. But how do you think Kansas basketball team would have, come out in March Madness?
That's a dumb question.
Yeah, first off, I remember that game, definitely. I was in Chicago, actually, for the Chiefs-Bears game, and we choked bad. I remember that. I think we were up 5 or so with a minute left. Devon missed a free throw to ice it. But we have trouble with Villanova. It drives me crazy. I hate Villanova.
See, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was actually at the Elite Eight game in 2016 against them and at the Final Four game in 2018, so it just hurts.
Yeah, I was
this lately.
I have a video I'll have to show you. It was me. Justin was talking so much smack at the end.
No, I
And then,
wasn't.
yeah, you were. I have the videos. And I was like, who's crying now? And he like hit my phone out of my hand. It was hilarious.
But I mean, I thought KU was far and above the best team in the country, and I don't think we were, one of the best college basketball teams in a long time, but I think compared to everyone else in college basketball this year that no one was really close just because KU defensively was unreal, and then we had an elite big and an elite point guard, and Marcus Garrett, National Defensive Player of the Year, and then I think you could have made the case for Doak and Devon Dotson too. So we were just unreal defensively. I personally think we would have at least made it to Atlanta for the Final Four, but you know how the tournament goes.
I say it every year. I feel like I say it every year that this is the best Kansas team I've seen in a long time, but I really thought that this was the best Kansas team I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
I was I just graduated from Penn State, so I was hoping Penn State would have somehow played Kansas.
They had a good team this year. What's his name? Stevens?
Lamar Stevens,
Yeah, he's really good. They had some – I always bet on Penn State when they played at home, so I watched a lot of their games. They had some guys that could shoot it. I watched them beat the shit out of Ohio State or something at home this year.
Yeah. It wasn't at home. I think it was at I don't think they came to us this year at home. But yeah, no, I was hoping for that because I don't know how far they actually would have gone, but I would have loved to see a Kansas, Penn State matchup just because Justin and I talk smack at each other all the
Bro,
time.
Kansas can't beat teams from Pennsylvania. I remember how long ago they played Temple and got blown out. I don't remember how long ago that was.
Yeah, they killed us. I think that Tyshawn talked about that game on our pod. I remember
I was
not ready for
snowboarding, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go check the KU game," and they were getting smoked, and I was like, "They're playing Temple, bro! Like, come on."
What did Tyshawn say?
He was just saying they weren't ready for that game. It was like at 11 a.m. on Saturday in Philly, and I think the twins were there too, the Morris twins, and they're from Philly, and they said they came out so flat and just Temple killed them. Damn.
So. Who is your favorite player from this last team? The season didn't end, but who was your favorite player from this team?
It's tough not to say Dot or Doak, but I'd probably say Marcus Garrett. I've honestly loved him since he was a freshman here, and just the way he plays on the defensive end, like he's so intense, and just I think he's the best defender KU's ever had potentially. Like it's crazy saying that because KU's one of the best programs ever, but I've never seen someone be able to guard 1 through 4 like he does.
Justin, who's your favorite player on that team?
Honestly, he took the words right out of my mouth. I was gonna say the same exact thing. Like I'm not even joking. He's such just the way he plays and just how physical he is, and I don't know. I liked watching him play a lot, so I'm gonna say him as well.
Yeah.
Braiden, I think you need to have Justin on your podcast one day just to bullshit.
We can talk about Marcus for an hour.
So what do you think the chances for them when they come back, when hopefully sports are back at this time, but what do you think next year? What do you think they're going to be like?
We're going to have a really solid team deep. We lost Dot and Doak, but we'll have, I think Marcus Garrett will run the point. We brought in a 5-star from Tulsa, Bryce Thompson. Ochai will be back. They got Tyon Grant Foster, number 1 JUCO player in the country. He's actually from KC. He'll probably start. Bill's really excited about him. And then Dave McCormick will be our center probably, which we need him to have a huge year. And then we just have a lot of bodies coming off the bench too. So should be, like if Marcus is on your team, you're going to be good defensively too. So, it's tough not to say we'll not be a 1 or 2 seed just because Bill does that so often. But I would probably say KU wins the Big 12, and then hopefully Bill puts us in a spot to win a title, but we honestly might get a postseason ban. So,
yeah, I hope if you don't get the ban, I hope Villanova plays against Kansas.
Do you want Villanova to play them, or do you want Penn State to play them? Make up your mind.
I'm a fan. Okay, so even though I graduated from Penn State, Villanova's always been my team because I'm an old Philly guy. But Penn State will be number 2 if they are good.
I don't want to play Villanova.
I would love it. So this is gonna be a big question for both of you guys. where were you? We'll start with Braiden first, but where were you when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl?
I was just in the KC area at a buddy's house watching it with a lot of my close friends, which I'll never forget just because it was literally like some of my best friends ever. And we've been going to Arrowhead together for years now. And so, yeah, it was awesome.
Did you cry at all?
I did. I teared up at least a little bit. It was just surreal, like because it's just kind of a surreal moment. So, I mean, I knew it was wrapped up a little bit, but when Damian Williams broke that run, it's just like, just kind of let loose.
I didn't even see that play happen. I swear to God, as soon as the Chiefs got the ball back, I was outside running around in my yard because it's like it was so insane to me because the whole week leading up to the Super Bowl, I was like, well, for the AFC Championship game, it snowed, and I went outside and I was running around, rolling around in the snow. And the whole week leading up to the Super Bowl, I was like, I want snow. I want snow. Give me snow. And there was no snow in the forecast. And then as soon as I woke up Sunday morning, it was a blizzard. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then I didn't even see Damian Williams score that touchdown. I was outside rolling around in the snow and screaming. And
yeah.
It was insane.
That's awesome.
Justin, did you cry at all? I don't remember that.
Oh, dude, I don't think I stopped crying that whole night.
I
don't think I stopped crying until I got back from Kansas City.
when the Eagles won, I cried as well. So I'll admit it as well.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling. Like I've said my whole life, like Super Bowl's the biggest day ever. Like everyone, no matter who's playing, gathers around and watches it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I have a party every year. It's pretty fun stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly.
So what did you think of the Chiefs draft this year?
I thought first the Clyde pick, I was kind of skeptical, but just hearing Mahomes and Veach and Andy talk about him, like, I mean, you know about Andy in Philly. He was comparing him to Brian Westbrook, like saying he's better. So, and Westbrook was catching 80, 90 balls in that offense. So, really excited about that. I think Willie Gay, the inside linebacker we took, I think has a ton of potential. They're really excited about him. And then took some defensive backs, which is probably something we need. Our secondary really wasn't bad last year, but when you have so many weapons on offense, I think all you got to really do is build the defense and keep surrounding Pat with weapons every once in a while too.
Yeah, I agree.
And Fuller too. So to bring in some more secondary guys is going to be great.
Yeah, and then hopefully Thornhill comes back strong too, coming off.
I think Thornhill's going to be a monster.
I think so too. Him and Matthew together for a while.
Now, Justin, would you like the Edwards-Helaire pick like right away? Because we were actually, I think we were in a Zoom call actually when that happened. You were like running around. And you're like, let's go.
Yeah, dude. Just because I knew the potential that he has in that offense, dude. Like you look at what he did at LSU. He was one of the top receiving backs in the country. Like you put that in that offense, he's gonna be a monster. Yeah,
he forces a ton of missed tackles, and I think Joe Burrow said Clyde is the best or most talented player I've played with, and he played at Ohio State and LSU. So it's pretty crazy.
Now, are you going to draft him in fantasy this year?
Yeah. If he's there, I would take him late first probably. Just because, especially in like a keeper league if I'm in one of those. But I think like late first just because, I mean, we still have Damian, but I still feel like he has the chance to catch 70-ish balls, something like that. And we're always in the red zone too, so.
I was getting your advice on that because I'm in a pretty serious draft every year, and it's like for some money. So and I'm late in the first round, so I definitely was gonna see what you thought about that.
Yeah, it's crazy how close. I didn't even think about how close fantasy is. It's already late July.
I know. I've been doing so many mock drafts because I never do them, and then I do really bad. So this year was a lot of mock drafts. I'm getting prepped.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see Andy starting starting Damian Williams to start the year.
That's what I think might happen at first.
He really Damian's track history. He really, I mean, the most carries I think he's ever had in a season is like 100 and a little over 100 or something. So like he hasn't really proved that he can be a bell cow. So I think Clyde.
Which one of those guys gets cut now? Because they still have Darrell Williams and they have Darwin Thompson too. Like, what's gonna?
And they signed DeAndre Washington from Oakland.
Yeah.
So
that's because of how everybody was hyping him up last year, and he was supposed to be this breakout player, and he really the only big play that I could remember him having was that Texans game where he recovered the fumble on that kick return.
Yeah, literally.
So, do you think they repeat as champs next year, Braiden?
I think so.
I
think they're only going to get better. I think like Pat had the 50 TD, 5,000 yard season, but I think he was even better last year just as a quarterback and a leader. Like he's 24, he's just going to keep growing and getting better. And like I think Clyde is going to take the offense to another level too, which is crazy to say.
Now, the only thing, I think Mahomes is obviously a beast. Everyone knows that. But I think, what I'm more worried about, I guess, is the contract. When, this big contract, I'm hoping it doesn't all get to his head. And he's,
it's tough not to think about that.
Just because
I don't think it will. I really don't, because, like, I saw his mom literally went to work the next day after he signed that contract and said, like, I still need to make my own money too. Like, I can't rely on other people. So I think his family he has a good head on his shoulders, and he has good people around him that I don't think they're going to let it get to his head.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I personally think he just wants to be the GOAT.
Oh, of course.
I think he's going to be.
He has that work ethic too.
What'd you say?
He has that work ethic too. Like he's just sits and studies film and just constantly in the weight room working out, just always getting better. He just wants to be great.
He's a golfer now too. I'm sure you've seen the highlights from this week.
Yeah, he's somehow just good at everything he does.
So I saw you commented on your tweet. How was that feeling when you saw that? What the hell?
I was way too excited because, obviously I love the Chiefs, and Pat's probably my favorite athlete right now. Just like the Chiefs have never had a good quarterback. Alex Smith, but Pat is probably my favorite athlete ever just because he's the Chiefs QB. And, yeah, when I saw that, I freaked out. I was driving. Well, because one of my buddies tweeted me because the notifications started going crazy just because he quoted it, and one of my buddies tweeted at me and was like, "Pat just quoted your tweet," and I was like, "Shut up!" And so I kept going down, load more, saw it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was pumped.
You gotta admit, did you cry during that moment too?
No, that'd be sad, but I was on the verge probably. If I would have been drunk or something, I probably would have started shedding tears.
Justin, I feel like if he commented on one of your tweets, you would have went off on this guy. You're like, "Yo, marry me."
Bro, I swear to God, I swear that this happened. So he was on Kimmel or one of them announcing his 15 in the Mahomes thing, and I swear to God, after I saw it, I just tweeted at him and I said, "I love you," and 10 minutes later, I swear to God, I saw a notification that said Patrick Mahomes liked your tweet. And then as soon as I went to look at it, it was gone. But I swear it was there.
You never told me that one.
It was there. It was there for a second.
Would you have cried for that moment?
Yeah. Dude, it was literally it's literally been my Tinder luck. I get a notification that I get a match, and then I go to look, and it's just gone. I just get unmatched that quick.
Darn. Now, Braiden, for me and Justin are in a fantasy league, and every year I purposely do this just to piss him off. Every year I draft Travis Kelce right before he goes to do it. Now, do you think that is a terrible move on my part?
No, because Kelce's a beast.
I agree. I think I
don't see anything wrong with taking him second round every year, even early second, because it's 1,000 yards, probably 8 or so touchdowns.
He's Mr. Consistent,
Yeah, he doesn't really miss games either. So, yeah, I mean he goes second round every year, doesn't he?
Yeah, I take him second round every year. That's why Justin gets so mad. Every time he's messaging, he goes, "Who took him?" He goes, I should
No,
know.
dude, you literally when you're in my league, you take all Chiefs players.
Just to get you mad.
You literally like last year. I'm pretty sure you had
I had
Tyreek and
Mahomes.
Kelsey.
I had Mahomes on my team last.
Oh,
Did
I think I finally got Kelsey last year.
because
but you
I took
Tyreek
Mahomes.
and Pat.
Yeah, it's tough not to take the whole Chiefs offense.
Honestly,
So besides the Chiefs, who do you think could go all the way this year?
I think Baltimore has a really good chance. I know Lamar hasn't been good in the playoffs, but I think after the year what were they last year? How many games did they win? 14?
I think they were 12-4
Yeah.
12-4? Yeah.
because they got the 1 seed.
Yeah. But yeah, after the year they had, I know Derrick Henry went off on them in the playoffs, but they had a crazy good off season. I think they got Calais Campbell. They had a really good draft. I think they got J.K. Dobbins.
Yep. I think Dobbins was a huge gain for them.
Patrick Queen too, I think. Or no, who'd they take?
Yeah,
no,
they did.
you're right. It was 28th. Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they had a really good draft too. They got some other guys, but I think Baltimore has a good chance. NFC, I don't know. Who do you guys think for the NFC?
I think the Saints. I
Eagles
still,
added
I still
some
think
weapons
it's the
finally.
Saints.
Eagles literally took the Chiefs' idea of just drafting fast players.
Yeah, I think Jalen Reagor could be awesome with Wentz. So
Cute. I think he's my first round draft pick this year. No matter, no, I'm kidding. but no, I
he'd
think
be their number one though. I mean, Alshon gets hurt all the time.
Deshaun gets hurt all the time.
Yeah, so I mean, Rager could end up being their number one. And Wentz is good, dude. People hate on him, but I think he's really good.
I honestly think it's between Mahomes and Wentz.
Don't say that.
I do.
I think
You could put Wentz in the top 5 if he's healthy, but it's Mahomes and Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson's a beast. I agree.
the rest is good. So yeah, I mean, they probably have a chance. Green Bay
looks nice.
has a decent chance. I think their draft sucked, but the Saints. I mean, Tom Brady's in the NFC now. Dallas's offense should be good if Dak's good. I mean, they got Steve, Cooper, and Gallup and Zeke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Zeke feels disrespected, so he might go off this year.
Yeah, and they're still got a good O-line. So
yeah,
Philly got Slay too, so their secondary.
Yeah, I'm pumped about that.
They got Slay and Roby Coleman.
Yeah, they needed secondary help bad.
Big time. I'm hoping that Slade doesn't suck. Like I feel like when a big name comes to Philly, sometimes they're not good. I'm like, oh, that would suck. Justin, you said the Saints.
I think the Saints. Yeah, they've kind of been in the same boat as the Chiefs have been with Alex Smith. They've been that close, but they just something happens to them and they just can't get over that hump.
And I feel bad for the Saints, honestly. Like they should have been a Super Bowl. But like, I don't know. I'm hoping that their time hasn't run out because I would like to see, them do something with that team because it's too good not to do something.
Yeah, that's crazy how I think Breeze has only played in one Super Bowl, right?
Right.
I think so.
And Mahomes has already played in 1-1. So hard to go.
He almost played in 2 previous season if it wasn't for some mistake.
Let's next question.
So all right, we're gonna change the sport a little bit. Are you a Royals fan?
I am.
Okay, so if the season happens, when the season starts, how do you think they're gonna do?
I hope they flirt with 500 somehow, but our pitching's awful. But with 60 games, I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they'll pitch their prospects or not. But I know.
I know Duffy was just announced as the starter this year for them.
Okay, yeah. So Duffy will probably start opening day on Friday.
Right.
And then we have a lot of good arms coming up, but I'm sure they're not ready yet. I think our lineup 1 through 6 or so is pretty good. We got Mondesi, Witt, Soler, Dozier, Salvi. Probably missing
Alex Gordon.
Yeah, Gordo.
Didn't Salvador Perez didn't he get COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, the dude just got hurt and then he got bad. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, so with the 60-game year, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like, what if they start 10-3 or something random? Like, maybe they could finish 30-30 or something like that.
See, I play baseball, so me personally, I hate the idea of 60 games. I'm like, I just think just get rid of the season. Just start fresh next year.
Yeah.
Like it, I don't like that whole 60 game
'Cause
idea at all.
I was talking with my buddies yesterday, like the Nationals last year were probably like, they were like 25-40 or something stupid at one point.
Yeah, they got on a hot streak.
Yeah, and they won it all. So it's like they wouldn't even have made the playoffs this year
Hmm.
if they
Yeah,
did
it
like
doesn't.
that.
I agree, and it doesn't make sense. But I know Justin has a really big perspective on the Royals and one certain player. Justin, would you like to mention that?
Whit Merrifield is the most underrated player and most unappreciated player in baseball. I don't care what anybody says.
He's a machine, dude.
He is the most consistent. Just I think he's the most underrated player in baseball. He does not get the credit he deserves.
No, he's awesome. He steals bases, plays good in the field, plays everywhere in the field.
He does everything. He literally does everything.
Did he lead the league in hits last year?
I'm pretty sure he did, yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. I know that's what sucks is we might not ever be good by the time he's done.
Yeah, he's 27 now, so he has still a couple
No,
years.
he's in his 30s.
Is he 27? I thought he was 27.
No, he's
Oh my
like
gosh.
32.
See, and Justin just started becoming a big baseball fan. So, like, as soon as he, found a player, he was like, Whit Merrifield's the best player in baseball. He says it all the time. No matter, like,
He's super underrated. He's
No,
fun to
no.
watch.
Dude. He does everything.
now, would you rather a tweet back from Whit Merrifield or
No,
Patrick Mahomes?
that's a dumb question. That's a dumb question.
Next question. Next
That's a dumb
question. So, back to your podcast, Aint No Seats. What is the big picture with your podcast? Where do you want this to go? Or what's the hope, at least?
I mean, lately I've just been thinking, like, I just want to solidify ourselves, like, as the best KU pod. Like, just to have the pod that everyone wants to go listen to about, like, recruiting news, like, game recaps. I mean, player interviews. Like, we have a lot of connects right now that we could get some guys on that would be huge. Like, lately we've just been talking to a lot of guys, so it's like I just want to get some legendary interviews, like, with stories that people have never heard before that will keep people coming back.
That'd be really cool. You could, now you and Mahomes are buddies, you can ask him to come on, and then I think it'd be legendary right there.
Yeah, it was probably a bad idea for him to tweet me because now I'm just going to DM him every day.
But so I mean, that's a cool thing. Who's your main competition right now, if you have it on top of your head?
Just KU pods.
Yeah.
There's a few. Jayhawk Talk, which they've been around for a while, since like 2010. They have like 20,000 followers on Twitter. They have good tweets and stuff. I actually met the guy who's on there. He's a really nice guy. I think like Rock Chalk Blog has one. Actually, Elijah Johnson, former KU guard, started one. I don't know. I don't think they're doing it anymore because he's playing overseas, but they have a really good pod too. So it's like I like listening to these ones, but just like me personally, and it's like not against anything. Like I just want us to have the best one just because KU fans are diehards. It's a big program that people want to like tap into and listen. So I just want us to be kind of the most elite one,
I respect that as a humble answer, but you should have, with the right answer, would have been like, screw those other podcasts. We're going with mine no matter what. But so I know, I mean, I just saw the tweet recently. So I updated this episode list because we were trying to get this going for a little bit. So I apologize, back and forth all the time. But
yeah.
So I just saw this tweet and it's switching up completely from sports. I forget who tweeted it, but they had said like The Office is a terrible show. And you were like, stay off the weed, stay Stephen A. Smith quotes.
A lot of my friends will tweet that they don't like The Office or don't think it's funny. Like, I don't see how you don't think it's funny at all.
See,
like
okay,
you can maybe say it's not as funny as people think, but I don't see how you don't think it's at least a little funny.
See, that's a good point because Scranton is literally like what 30, 40 minutes from us, Justin.
Yeah.
Like that,
when people ask where we're from, I always just say, "Do you know where Scranton is?" I live like a half an hour away from it.
Like we're right there. So, but I am not a big fan of The Office either, but Justin is a huge fan of The Office. And I agree, there are some funny episodes. I saw some, I think it was Watch Mojo years ago, put out like the top 10 funniest episodes, and those are the ones I watched. But like besides that, I couldn't get into it. But what's the attraction? Like, why are you so into it?
I just think it's so goofy and funny. Like, Steve Carell's obviously hilarious. And then I think Dwight, every time Dwight talks, I just laugh. Like, that dude is
It's just so dry. It's just like some of the things that they do is just funny. Just the way they talk to each other. I don't know.
I think one of the most memorable ones that I mean from the ones I watched is how oh my gosh, who's the guy that always messes with Dwight? What's his name?
Jim.
Yeah. When he was trying to tell him it was Thursday or not Friday or whatever, and he convinced him on that.
Oh yeah, when he told him when he tried to tell him that they were working on Friday and that they didn't have to come in because it was Saturday the next day. Yeah.
Yeah, because Dwight was bragging that he's never late for work. I thought that was hilarious. That's a genius idea in my opinion. But so is there anything else that you want to add to this podcast? Like any shout outs that you want to give, Braiden?
No, not really. I mean, I guess if they could follow me on Twitter, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that was my next question. Where can people follow you?
So my Twitter is bturner23, and then if you want to follow, if there's any KU fans listening, the podcast is at Aint No Seats Pod. So if you guys want to follow, that'd be cool. If you don't like Kansas City sports, just follow me and mute me.
have him on your podcast. He's a pretty chill dude. But I'll follow you I follow you on Twitter, so I'm gonna follow you on Instagram as well, both my things. And then when this episode out, I'm gonna I'll edit it all in there and send it to you, whatnot.
Yeah, I'll send you my Instagram ad or whatever.
Okay. Got you. So and then now I don't remember this. Do you have a proper outro for your podcast?
We usually just pick a random song every week, like a nice instrumental or something.
See, I respect that because the last episode we were on, it was an NFL draft episode Justin was on, and he had no idea that I was doing his outro. And I'll do it right now, but Justin literally lost his mind at the end of the video, laughing so hard because it's so stupid. But it's just I said it once and now it has to catch on. But so we just went out on a limb. Now you grab a branch, grow this tree by doing something different, or just be yourself. Peace.
It makes my brain hurt so much.